How you feel?
I feel fantastic.
Wendy Chioji, a 12-year breast cancer survivor, has recently been diagnosed with a new, rare, aggressive cancer called thymic carcinoma. She's just had surgery to remove a malignant tumor in her chest, and she's in the midst of a difficult regime of radiation treatment and chemotherapy. But she continues preparing against all odds to climb Africa's Mount Kilimanjaro in less than 6 weeks.
Everything centers for me around this Kilimanjaro hike. It's an incredible symbolic achievement, victory, summiting on the top of one of the most famous mountains in the world. I will do everything that I can to make it to the very top. It's amazingly important.
Chioji is not alone. She's one of 4 cancer survivors and a dozen advocates from the cancer community who are part of Survivor Summit, a life-challenging test of the human spirit. Their mission, to reach the frozen summit of the world's highest freestanding mountain and send a message of hope and inspiration to 32 million cancer survivors worldwide.
Here we go. This is going to be the workhorse.
Yep.
I'm Mark Middleton, the CEO of Boulder Broadcasting. At 62, I'm the oldest member of the team. My mission is to try and keep up and keep shooting in order to share the story of those who are risking it all to make a statement about the importance of belief and the power of love.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tanzania. This is your final destination, Kilimanjaro.
One by one, we arrive at the Kia Lodge in Arusha, Tanzania, where we'll have just 24 hours to begin the process of forming a team that's capable of enduring the toughest test of our lives.
Every one of us has a different ability to carry a heavy backpack.
In the morning, all 16, most complete strangers, meet expedition leader Chris Warner, a renowned high-altitude mountaineer and leadership expert who builds high-performance teams for Super Bowl champions, military covert ops teams, Wharton MBA students, and Fortune 100 executives.
There is definitely behaviors that can happen in this group that can absolutely sink us as fast as possible, right? And then there's behaviors that can actually elevate us and increase our chance to get to the summit. And we find that if you don't talk about this stuff in the beginning, it comes back and haunts you in the end.
Only 20% of all climbers reach Uhuru Peak, the highest of 3 summits on Mount Kilimanjaro. The odds of getting all 16 of us to the summit at the same time are remote. Despite that, the team boldly decides that we will all summit together or no one will. Warner says the only thing that can lift this group of strangers to the summit together is love. We will quickly learn to put the needs of others ahead of our own, or we will fail.
All of us are going to be asked to make sacrifices throughout this trip, whether it's carrying extra gear, going at a pace that's not comfortable for you, being extra cold on summit day because somebody has to go slower. Whatever it happens to be, we're going to make those personal sacrifices.
I think that most of us have only known each other 24 or 48 hours, and already you can see that they give up so much to help each other, to help me, and I would do the same for them. It's going to be an amazing week.
The team includes Dr. Matt King and Chris Callahan, two of the co-founders of Survivor Summit, an organization that leads cancer survivors on life-altering journeys while raising money to support the Livestrong Foundation. This group has already raised nearly $200,000.
Hi, we're friendly. Hello. We like you. Mouse.
In addition to Chioji, the other cancer survivors on the team are Livestrong CEO Doug Allman, a three-time cancer survivor from Austin, Texas, colon cancer survivor Jeremy Jungling from Jackson, Mississippi, and breast cancer survivor Bree Sandlin from Katy, Texas.
And now we're going to take you through a one-level anterior cervical disc procedure.
Dr. Robert Masson, a world-renowned neurosurgeon from Orlando, Florida, is climbing to honor his father, who recently passed away from prostate cancer, and his sister Callie, a 20-year cancer survivor. He's also come to make a statement about extreme recovery. Less than 6 months ago, Dr. Masson had artificial disc surgery on his neck. Fearing that he might become disabled, he spent 6 months prehabbing, getting in shape for his surgery.
The prehab guaranteed a good outcome and guaranteed that I wouldn't become disabled by the experience. And I think that if you do everything you possibly can to maximize your recovery, to maximize your journey and your fight, your odds of being the exception, being that person that overcomes, is so much greater. And I think one of our challenges is to continue to inspire people to keep fighting even when it seems hopeless.
Over the next 7 days, this team intends to prove that extreme recovery is possible and that life is worth fighting for.
Every conflict in life is supposed to change us, to help us develop into the person we hopefully want to be. And so we're provided with this opportunity, right? This opportunity to grow, this opportunity to, kind of be a little bit of a symbol for other people that have suffered tremendously, or amongst ourselves have suffered tremendously. And so that's the why that we're here, right? So every great group has the why.
I think the summer days can be pretty emotional, but I think it's going to be, the juice will be worth the squeeze.
It's not just a matter of whether you got to the top, but did you do it in a style that you can be proud of forever? And you see these teams that will put Summit ahead of all else. It's every man for himself to get to the top. And quite often on these, more dangerous situations, not all of those people come home alive.
If we ever doubted it, we all now realize both the enormity and the opportunity of the challenge ahead. The next morning, the team leaves Arusha for a 4-hour drive through rural North Tanzania. We make a quick stop in a small village where all signs point to our ultimate destination, and we begin to wonder what exactly we'll be eating for the next 7 days.
Do you like the Rachel Ray show? Do a little seasoning more quick.
We continue west until the road ends at Nalimuru, near the Kenyan border, at an elevation of nearly 6,400 feet.
We're going to open the gates and let us through.
That's so big.
After a quick lunch and some last-minute preparations, it's time.
You guys ready to go?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We begin our hike along the remote Rongai route, winding our way through fields of corn and potatoes before entering a pine forest.
There's a big, huge spectrum in terms of, camping experience. There's a big, huge spectrum in terms of like endurance experience. But what they all have in common is they have gigantic hearts. They're here for other people. They really want to make a difference in, in the fight against cancer.
It doesn't take long to get a faint first glimpse of Mount Kilimanjaro rising in the distance. It's unquestionably beautiful, but it seems impossible to reach, let alone to climb and summit. We all realize in this moment that it's the perfect metaphor for a cancer diagnosis or any other serious life challenge. The path ahead is long, treacherous, and uncertain, but with the help of those around us, we'll move forward one step at a time until the impossible is within our reach. The trail continues rising over 2,000 feet before arriving at Camp 1, where our team of 64 Tanzanian porters and cooks are already pitching tents.
Hey, how are you? We're doing great. We all made it up. We're at camp number 1, about 9,000 feet. We passed through the forest, and we're in what would you call this? Looks like a
Base Camp 1.
After the sun goes down, the team gathers by candlelight in the mess tent for a dinner of hot cucumber soup and spaghetti with vegetables or meat sauce.
Vegetable sauce. Vegetable sauce.
Yay.
After dinner, our drinking bottles are filled with purified water from a nearby mountain stream. We know that each day will become more difficult and a good night's sleep more important.
We slept great until the water started dripping on our ear, but we handled the situation.
I slept through that. He woke me up.
After breakfast, the porters clean up and begin to strike camp as we hit the trail.
I'm optimistic. It's nice the rain stopped.
Maintaining a steady pace, we continue our slow ascent, adding another 2,000 feet in elevation and making it clear to everyone that this is going to be a challenge.
We're going to be challenged in all sorts of different ways. Challenges with health, challenges with just physical difficulty, challenges with the altitude, the cold, all this other stuff. And ultimately, through all these challenges, we would love to walk away feeling that the best of us came out in those situations.
Hours later, we arrive at the second caves camp at 11,350 feet, and while we marvel at the beast we've come to slay, a porter hits the trail to find and retrieve the water that's critical for cooking, drinking, and washing.
We're not having any problems. This is a strong group. Everyone's obviously done their homework by training and getting ready for this thing, and everybody's heart's in the right place, so the miles are just rolling away.
Dr. Massan's recent surgery so far is a non-issue. His artificial disc is holding up fine thanks to his rigorous training regime.
This has reminded me that we have to work to earn our right to do things that are hazardous.
But the real hazards are still to come. Guide Nelson Lauer pulls out a map and shares the increasingly difficult route ahead.
We're at Cave Camp. We're heading out to Kinkalawa next. And then we'll go all the way out to Mwenzi. And then we go, it's called the Saddle.
All the way up? This is all one day?
Yeah, it is. So after rest day, we go boom to Kibo Hut. And then we go to Uhuru Peak. And then we go all the way down. This is gonna make you sick, right? We go all the way down to here.
Oh.
And then all the way out to the gate.
I think we need to go here. Barfew Camp?
Parafu.
Oh. Barfew?
Yeah.
It's got my name written all over it
You wish we could, but it's not on the program.
So where are we now?
So we're here.
Here,
Actually,
right?
we're here.
Yeah.
You know, I've led over 200 international expeditions and summited Everest and K2, and people constantly underestimate Kilimanjaro, thinking that it's going to be an easy climb, and it really isn't. It's day after day, especially when you're new to things like camping. You know, all these things kind of compound on top of each other, just exhausting you, and that's why there's such a low success rate on Kilimanjaro. You know, maybe truly 20% of the people make the top. About 40 to 50% of the people make it to the crater rim and call that good, but this group is going all the way.
2 days in, what's your initial reaction?
You know what? It's harder than I thought it would be. Everybody describes it as a hike and you're just gonna walk, but today there was hands and feet scrambling up rocks that were a good foot and a half step, and through streams, and it was muddy, and so it's a challenge. It's a challenge for everybody.
This is not the first major challenge for Chioji. From her first cancer diagnosis in 2001, Wendy Chioji has been determined to not only live the biggest life possible, but to send a message of hope to cancer survivors worldwide. She's written articles and delivered speeches. She's ridden her bike cross-country, crossed countless finish lines, and even climbed mountains, all to raise money and awareness for cancer causes.
This has just been the most amazing adventure. It's just such a test of character and willpower and desire to do something great for people.
When cancer first intervened in 2001, Wendy was a major market TV news anchor leading a high-profile, glamorous life. The diagnosis was stage 2 breast cancer, and Wendy didn't hesitate to share intimate details of her battle with the many viewers who considered her part of their family.
We're not that far away, Mark, like you said a little while ago, from when it was cancer. Nobody really talked about cancer. And for me, with the television station and however many thousands of people watch every day, I can shout, it's cancer, and I'm a survivor, it's cancer. So that was my obligation. I do believe it was my obligation, but it was one that I fulfilled happily.
Wendy had chemotherapy, followed by a mastectomy and 2 reconstructive surgeries. She emerged cancer-free with a new appreciation for the value of every minute and a determination to not only survive, but to thrive.
Because all of a sudden it's like, yeah, maybe you have next year, and maybe you don't. So you just got to go for it right now.
So, at the age of 46, Wendy walked away from her TV career and moved across the country to begin a new life as a ski instructor, adventure racer, triathlete, and above all else, an advocate for cancer survivors and a fundraiser for the Livestrong Foundation. But she wasn't through being tested. In the summer of 2013, an MRI, a routine part of her annual post-breast cancer regime, revealed a small mass in her chest, and doctors went to work.
I went in and the surgeon collapsed my right lung, and with the most amazing technology, with 3 probes, went in, with one with a camera, one with a snipper, and one with a grabber, and kind of pulled out what ended up being the thymus gland.
And it turned out to be thymic carcinoma, which for most people, unfortunately, is found at later or more advanced stages.
I'm so lucky. My oncologist told me that really it's a blessing. This kind of cancer usually isn't detected until it's very, very far into the system, until it's in the lungs, it's in the heart, it's in the membrane around all the organs.
Wendy returned to her home in Utah, where she underwent a difficult regime of radiation and chemotherapy, and set her sights on climbing Mount Kilimanjaro and embracing one of her major philosophies about life and how you live it.
One of my big ones is say yes, embrace opportunity. Opportunities present themselves to you every single day. And if you start saying no to them, you're shutting off your life and your list of experiences even before you even get a chance to do it. So my big thing is take calculated risks. That hasn't changed in years. Say yes, go out and do things. Try to be great every day, because it might be your last day. You have no idea.
How powerful is her example? In the middle of a second cancer battle against a rare and deadly cancer, barely able to swallow from radiation treatment and weakened by chemotherapy, she says this.
Oh my gosh, I have the best life. I'm so blessed. I'm so lucky. no matter what happens, I have the greatest life. Sometimes it's just to make sure that you appreciate the good stuff, that the bad stuff comes. I get it. I'm on it.
Back on the mountain, the cooks are preparing another hot dinner, which is quickly becoming the highlight of the day.
It's amazing. I don't know how you get the ingredients up to 11,000 feet to make chicken soup and grilled cheese sandwiches, but these guys are absolutely amazing.
So today is a big day. It's Bree's 1-year cancer-free anniversary, and so.
For Bree Sandlin and her husband Stephen, this is a major milestone, a moment that marks the end of 2 life-changing battles. The first began 7 years ago, shortly after the greatest day of their lives.
My husband and I have been wanting to have kids for a long time. We've been trying. We weren't successful, so we went through IVF, in vitro fertilization. We were blessed with twin boys, which was wonderful. But one of our sons immediately had problems. Day 2, started having surgeries. He was in the NICU for 9 months. During his 6th month, he had a stroke, a massive stroke, and I was left with the diagnosis of cerebral palsy.
Bree and Stephen's lives changed overnight.
Let's look at overall profitability rather than just revenue.
Bree is a marketing executive with Shell Oil. She loves her job and is grateful that it provides the resources to care for Beck. So, without hesitation, Stephen quit his job as a graphic designer to do what had to be done.
He needed to be home full-time, and it wasn't even a question or a thought. I mean, he just so willingly said, you know, I'm happy to give my time and my life to be there for him. And it's inspirational.
He's nothing but a blessing to us. If not his perseverance and watching him make it through these things that every single doctor says he shouldn't make it through, it's hard to not be inspired by that, and it's hard not to work for him when you see what he's done for himself. Can you smile if I talk about the Wonder Pass? Beck cannot roll over on his own. He can't walk or crawl or stand up. If Beck's gonna do something, it's because somebody else does it for him. 100% reliant on other people, feeding, sleeping, everything. And he's cognitively completely functional. He is what the doctors consider a lockdown syndrome, where he can't communicate and he can't tell you what's going on, but he understands very well what's going on. He understands that his brother's running circles around him and that he doesn't get the opportunity to do that. And I don't hear him complain about those things. I don't see that in his eyes.
Beck, you got Batman.
Yeah, he's the most amazing blessing we've ever had in our lives. You know, he teaches us every day what true strength and perseverance and courage is.
But the Sandlins' capacity for strength, courage, and perseverance was about to be tested again.
We had thought for sure we had been dealt our biggest challenge in life in caring for Beck. And when I was diagnosed, I think we found out that was wrong. You know, facing your own mortality is actually a lot harder. And especially when you have a whole family depending on you.
The boys were 5 when Bree was diagnosed with stage 3 triple-negative breast cancer, an aggressive cancer with a high mortality rate that can be difficult to treat.
And I was just sitting in the driveway, and I remember thinking, now I have to go inside the house and tell Stephen that I have cancer. How in the world am I going to do this? And I remember I walked through the door, and Stephen was baking. And so I walked up, and he was really intense, and I was like, hey, I need to talk to you. And he was like, okay, you know, he's doing his thing. And I said, no, listen, stop, we have to talk. And I just started bawling.
All I thought was, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna make a way to make this okay. I don't know what it is. She kept asking me, how do you know that? How do you know it's gonna be okay? And I said, I don't know, but it's going to be fine. Like, we'll find a way to get through this and to make it work.
Bree feared for her life, but an even greater fear was leaving Stephen alone to care for the boys.
And I remember thinking, I can't spend any money. I have to save every penny so that Stephen and the boys have money when I'm gone. And I remember thinking, I had just bought a new blouse for work, and I remember thinking, I need to go return that blouse so that there's money in the bank when they need it when I'm not here to be the breadwinner. And it's just irrational thoughts like that cross your mind, and in retrospect, I know it makes no sense, but at the time it seemed like the most important thing I could do was go return that blouse.
Two things happened early on that enabled the Sandlins to find their way forward. First, when Bree's doctor said,
I've got this medical side of things. I can give you medicine, I can give you treatments, but the diet and the exercise and the attitude are all going to be up to you. I can't do anything about those, but if you want to do something and you want to do it as well as you can, those are the three that you need to focus on. And as soon as she said that opened up a whole world to us.
I mean, he was my dietitian, my personal trainer, my coach, my motivator, my optimism. He was everything. I mean, it's just, he definitely was the one that made me say, all right, we're gonna fight. We're gonna kick this thing's butt. And he was amazing every day.
The second thing that gave Bree and Stephen hope was discovering the services of the Livestrong Foundation.
I needed somebody to answer basic questions about what is cancer, what is chemotherapy, what is radiation treatment, what am I going to deal with when I call insurance companies, what am I going to deal with kids, and it gave me a baseline understanding of what I was getting into.
I think Livestrong was the first resource, the first group we found that said, here's the emotional side of cancer, right? Here's what you're going to go through. And that, to me, that was such an encouraging thing to have someone speak to, we understand what you're thinking and feeling, not just physically, but emotionally.
Bree underwent 6 months of chemotherapy, along with genetic testing, which delivered even more bad news.
I found out through that process that I have the BRCA1 mutation, which is what caused the cancer, which is now easy to talk about because Angelina Jolie made it popular, so everyone knows what I'm talking about. So because of that, I knew I had a genetic predisposition to cancer. So we pretty much made the decision that we wanted to eliminate as much risk from our lives as we could. It just wasn't worth it. So when I had surgery, I went ahead and had a double mastectomy rather than just the side where the cancer was, and an oophorectomy, so I had both of my ovaries removed as well.
While Bree battled, Stephen held the family together.
He is always looking out for our family. He makes dinner, he takes care of Beck, he's hanging out with Elliot, he's looking after me, and he's like, the guardian angel of our family. He just hovers above everybody, taking care of us all the time.
After recovering from multiple surgeries and 8 months of chemotherapy and radiation treatments, Bree got a clean pathology report. Her cancer was gone. Suddenly, she understood a statistic that Livestrong shared with her months before.
90% of people, of survivors, right, so people who come out on the other end, look back on cancer as a positive experience. And I remember at the time reading that quote and to say that complete bullshit. There is no way that I'm ever gonna look back and say, oh, I'm so glad I got cancer, right? That was a really positive thing in my life. And I remember thinking that at the time, and now I'm on the other end of it, and I know exactly what that means, right? I was given a chance to appreciate life so much more, and to know how much everything means to me and what I love and what my passions are, and just stop going through life in a regimented system, and to take time to appreciate it. And I think Livestrong opened my eyes to that.
So Bree and Stephen joined Survivor Summit to help Livestrong and to celebrate Bree's 1-year cancerversary on Mount Kilimanjaro.
Climbing the mountain to me is like just the perfect metaphor for everything. I mean, it's putting one foot in front of the other every single day, no matter what, no matter how hard it is. It's, reaching this pinnacle. It's relying on everyone around you for support, and to get there. I mean, it's the perfect metaphor. I think for me, it's just going to be a very emotional moment.
As the porters break camp, the summit of Kili remains 5 difficult days away. For the 4 cancer survivors, that's 5 days away from celebrating the power of the human spirit. 5 days from screaming,
F you, cancer! Woo!
Kilimanjaro, 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 mlima mrefu sana. Kilimanjaro, 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 mlima mrefu sana. Na mawenzi, na mawenzi, na mawenzi, na mawenzi, mlima mrefu sana. Na mawenzi, na mawenzi, na mawenzi, na mawenzi, mlima mrefu sana.
Before hitting the trail, the porters treat the team to a quick Kili concert, the perfect motivation to begin what will be the toughest day yet, a 4-mile hike through increasingly difficult conditions.
Today's one of those days when you're going through the clouds and the rain and you don't have adequate gear, when you start to wonder whether you're a good husband and father for coming all the way over here and risking your health and your sanity, but then you realize that you're going to make it to the top in a couple days and it's going to be amazing, so it's all worth it.
I think this mountain's trying to show me what's in store for Summit Day. It's pretty intense. I think this is a little more intense than we've had the past couple days.
It's chilly, it's wet, my raincoat is not waterproof, it's kind of steep, it's slippy, and I'm having the time of my life.
Yeah. Is slippy a word?
Yes, slippy's a word.
5 hours later, the team arrives at Kiklawa Camp at an altitude of 12,000 feet. We're tired, wet, and dirty.
Hot water. So good.
Here we go. Handkerchief. Master. Can we film this? Hey, I'm just trying to blend into the company, all right? That's right.
Like hardcore walking.
No, I don't know why it washes like
After freshening up, it's time for dinner and letters from home.
To Claire and to Jared, may Mother Nature be fair. May this be a memory that you'll always share. May your muscles be strong and not grow too weary. When you reach the top, may you not get too teary. May you remember the cause for which you climb and wish peace to others taken before their time. Show your love for each other and your friends, you are rich. And soon you can say, we climbed Kili, bitch.
In addition to the main honor flag that the team hopes to unfurl at the summit, many team members are carrying smaller banners from their community bearing the names of survivors and those who ran out of time. Banners that every team member signs. While the spirits are high, there is a growing sense of anticipation. Everyone realizes that from here to the summit, every step becomes more difficult.
Tomorrow we go a little higher. We go to 4,300 meters tomorrow. So you need thin gloves, you need a little balaclava. Yeah, and when we get there, the same schedule, hot lunch, and it will be a little chilly because that is higher. Slowly, slowly, okay, see you to the top of Africa. Yes, you're welcome.
You guys are doing a great job.
Yeah,
you're welcome. Thank you. Okay, you guys also thank you for your nice cooperation.
Oh, good.
Simple group to handle. You are very well organized.
Good.
On time, everything on schedule. So thank you very much, by the way.
Oh, good.
Can you describe what's ahead? What's the nature of today's hike?
Yeah, so it's a trail that the trail completely overhangs, so it's all hands today, no feet, and it's about 4,000 feet of elevation gain. The worst part is a herd of lion that hang right at the base of this giant cliff we're going to climb. So chances are maybe 6 or 7 of us will make it through alive.
And then a rest day for those who do?
Oh yeah, those who do, they have, we have all sorts of things. There's a thermal pools that we're going to lay next to. The next camp's run by the Four Seasons Corporation, so it's quite nice.
With the altitude apparently getting to Chris Warner, we begin a 3-mile, 4-hour climb on a steep trail in a steady rain.
Good.
It's awful for you and tastes awesome.
It's a little bit spicy usually. My wife gave me this mountain, huh?
The trail eventually leaves the vegetation behind and enters the clouds. After a difficult and exhausting climb, the team arrives at Mwenzi Tarn Camp, situated in a cirque at 14,200 feet. A cirque is a bowl-shaped mountain basin carved by glaciation that usually contains a small round lake. Mwenzi, one of 3 volcanic cones on Mount Kilimanjaro, is steep, jagged, and extremely dangerous. Prior to 2013, Mwenzi had fewer ascents every year than Mount Everest. In 2013, it was declared off-limits and can no longer be legally climbed.
It's been incredible. It's more than I could possibly have imagined. It's more beautiful than I even thought it could be. Sometimes, pictures and even videos don't always do justice to the scenery that you see around you, and it's been magnificent. I think the thing that makes it even better for me is doing it with Claire. I always call her my angel. She's strong and stronger than she ever will know. Oh, I need a mixer spoon.
Are you going to whip something up?
Jeremy and Claire met on Match.com, and even before meeting in person, the sparks were flying.
I said, this is it. I told all my friends. I said, if he's anything like his emails, plan on us getting married in October. Go ahead and put it on your calendars. And then instead we got married in July before that, within 5 months.
All right, today's workout is going to be a doozy.
The two share a passion for running and volunteer as coaches for a Couch to 5K program, inspiring and training men and women of all ages and all fitness levels to get moving.
They have a never-ending energy to help people and to motivate people to help themselves.
Our slogan is relentless forward progress. He has always said that from day one. Always go forward, always be positive, and make the best of the situation.
More than a slogan, it's Jeremy's personal philosophy, a mantra that was about to be tested. Their honeymoon was barely over when Jeremy began experiencing abdominal pain and overall weakness. Claire encouraged him to get tested.
My doctor called and told me there was a mass in my colon and that it had to come out immediately. I asked my doctor a couple times if it was cancer. I got the idea quickly she didn't want to say those words. So I kind of asked her in a backwards way, well, can it be anything but cancer? And she said no. And then my next call, of course, was to Claire to tell her, what was going on. And you feel almost guilty. I felt like I had let her down, especially being relatively newlywed.
And I just remember sitting in bed and I couldn't get out of bed because I thought, I don't know how many more moments, how many more mornings I get to wake up with him. And I remember being so mad at God because I thought, you just gave him to me. We were both older when we got married, and we've been through a lot. And I thought, why didn't you let us meet earlier? If you're going to take him away from me, why now? Give me more time with him.
Claire and Jeremy had one another, but they needed help. They needed a plan. They turned to the internet for information and, in a sea of confusion, found a trusted source in Livestrong.
And I spent a lot of hours late at night just reading articles and trying to find even the slightest advantage over cancer. You know, whether it's exercising more, eating right, whatever I could do to increase my odds to be around, we were going to try to do whatever we could. But we reached out to Livestrong and they sent this guidebook that would tell you, it's a guidebook of what to do when you're diagnosed with cancer.
Jeremy had colon resection surgery, spending nearly 2 weeks in the hospital. Shortly after surgery, Claire was helping Jeremy walk in the halls of the hospital when they passed in front of a large mirror.
I remember standing there in that mirror with Jeremy in his hospital gown, like barely able to talk. They were making him walk and it was miserable for him. And I'm in like pajamas. I mean, like, I looked homeless, like I looked terrible. And I remember standing there and like the juxtaposition of that image to our wedding photos from a year before, that I was like, that's what it's about. Like, I didn't sign up for this for some glorious, awesome life. Like, I signed up for this for, you know, sickness and health and richer and poor and everything. And that to me was just like, and that's what we're doing. And that's it. That's the next step. And then the next step after that will be better. He's like, what is that?
Baby.
It was the Jungling family motto in action, relentless forward progress. Jeremy's surgery was a success, but he still needed 6 months of chemotherapy. Doctors told him he couldn't run during that period.
And I remember those exact words. He said, forget about all that stuff. And I was like, I'm not going to forget about all that stuff.
2 weeks after surgery, Jeremy took his first run.
And I had just had a bunch of colon removed, and it probably wasn't the best idea, but it was glorious because I felt I was running again, I was alive, you know, I was really celebrating life.
He began to lift weights and ride his bike. As his strength returned, his short runs grew into longer runs, and soon he was running 5Ks, then 10Ks, half marathons, marathons, and even a 50K ultramarathon. His cancer was gone, and his desire to live was stronger than ever.
I used to always say, oh, and you know, when I get older, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Well, now I've actually started to do those things, and it's kind of started a snowball effect of where I'm going to keep doing those things. I'm going to live while I can live, and I'm not going to put stuff off, so what are we going to do next? And it popped up on Livestrong on Facebook. It said, hey, Survivor Summit, if you want to climb Mount Kilimanjaro.
He sent me the application, and I was like, well, I'll make this all about Jeremy and how much he deserves to get it, because I don't really want to do this. Like, that sounds dirty, it sounds hard. I don't camp, like, this is not me at all. And then they came back and they were like, you're both selected. And I was like, wait, what, me? Are you sure that's the right name on there? Because I don't think it is. And yeah, it was me too. And I was like, well, if he's going, I gotta go.
Jeremy's treatment was a success and his recovery extreme. But like most survivors, he's still looking over his shoulder.
You don't know if it's ever going to come back. I'm always scared to say, hey, I'm cancer-free, and maybe for the moment I am, but I guess it doesn't really matter to me.
I say it all the time. He's cancer-free. I'm so happy when they said those words.
I'm just going to keep moving on and, you know, doing the best I can, assuming it's not there, and living my life.
And conquering Kilimanjaro has become an important part of that quest to live life for both Jeremy and Claire.
We're so motivated by the idea of Survivor Summit and by the names on our flags, and the fact that we've made it as far as we have. We were getting to the top of that mountain.
I would take that number because it looks really good.
Inside the mess tent every night, Warner uses a pulse oximeter to measure and record the blood oxygen saturation and the pulse rate for every team member.
Every time we make a rise in altitude, there's obviously less oxygen for our system. So what we're doing is we're measuring with this device the amount of oxygen that's in her blood. So Maddie's got 90% or 89%. So this is how much oxygen she has in her blood. At sea level, this might be 99 instead of 88, and this lower number is her pulse rate. And we just monitor this over time, and it's just one of the little signs or data points that we have to see how well you're acclimatizing to the altitude. If we watch that number, and if all of a sudden Maddie went down to 60%, that would only mean that 60% of the oxygen is getting to every part of her body. So her brain would be deprived of oxygen and she'd probably start, well, number one, losing fine motor skills, then gross motor skills. She'd lose about a dozen or two, maybe 20 IQ points. So I'd finally be able to understand what she's talking about, since she's so erudite and sagacious.
Day 5 is a rest day to help acclimate to the increasingly dangerous altitude. The day begins with a breakfast of French toast, eggs, sausage, and another celebration.
It's very nice spending my birthday with you all. Good. And I have never been with a finer group, a more inspirational group in my life. So thank you for the opportunity, Wendy, to invite Robert, to invite me. And I really appreciate the support, and just being part of this very, very important event is it's a heavy, but very, it's weird because it's heavy on the shoulders, it sort of lifts the feet. It's a strange dynamic, so thank you all very much.
With the summit attempt now just 2 days away, the focus is very clearly on preparing for what will be the greatest challenge all on this team have ever faced.
Hydration and Diamox are the two things that are going to prevent 70% of the cases of acute mountain sickness. So being well hydrated today, being well hydrated tomorrow is going to make a huge difference.
If you guys have caffeine packets, like any goo with caffeine in them, save those for like the 4 o'clock hour. They are brilliant because it's happened to me every time on Kili that you get cold, but you also start yawning and you get a little tired at the same time. Those like caffeine packets bring you back. It's nice.
Among those nervously anticipating the challenge ahead is Livestrong CEO Doug Allman.
Yesterday when it was pouring rain, I started to have some doubts, just like everybody else, but I think if you don't set goals that seem unachievable, you never live life to the fullest. I'm as nervous as can be about tomorrow and the next day, and I have a lot of doubts, but I think it's the group and the community that will carry us all to the top. And when things get hard, we'll think about those people that we love and those people that we wish were here with us.
I think it's great. I printed this out, it's on my desk. There's only 2 edits that I think I want to make. Okay.
Doug is one of the world's top nonprofit executives. Under his leadership, the Livestrong Foundation has helped millions worldwide navigate their way through cancer.
And one of the things that I think we're most proud of is that we've helped shift the perception of cancer, the dialogue around cancer, and we've helped create this empowered community of people who feel like they can live their life even though they have a history of cancer.
Allman comes by his passion for helping survivors naturally. His parents are both cancer survivors, and he's a 3-time survivor, diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer when he was a 19-year-old college sophomore. Within a year, he was also diagnosed with malignant melanoma twice.
Were you stunned? Absolutely. I mean, I was in the best shape of my life. And, it's just not something as a 19-year-old you would ever think about. I mean, I didn't know anything about cancer. I was so naive. I was absolutely shocked. Cancer is so hard to deal with, even when you have all the resources. When you have insurance, when you have family and support and great doctors and great access, it's still hard. So imagine how hard it is for people that go by themselves, that may not be educated, that may not have insurance, that may not have access that we might have.
It's that compassion that led Doug to start the Allman Cancer Fund for young adults in 1997, and eventually led him to Livestrong, where he was one of the first hires by Lance Armstrong in 2001. Armstrong's well-documented fall from grace tested Doug's leadership and the resolve of his team. Their dedication to those they serve resulted in the foundation emerging stronger than ever.
Well, Livestrong has been through a lot, and we've had to survive, so to speak. But the work that we're doing is so critical to so many people around the world, and we're grateful and so appreciative for the support of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who give of their time and their talent and their treasure, and the work must go on. So while we've been through a rough period of time, the future looks awfully bright, and I'm excited about where we go from here.
A big piece of where they go from here is a new 10-year, $50 million commitment to create the Livestrong Cancer Institute at the University of Texas Dell Medical School, a partnership that Doug believes will revolutionize the way patients are cared for.
The knowledge and the sort of understanding of the cancer experience that has been developed at Livestrong over years and years of talking to people and surveying people and engaging with the community. We're at a point where I think we can translate that into a new model of care, where navigation doesn't have to be an add-on, it's part of the system, where all the things that we've advocated for, that we've worked on, that we've created programs to address, could be wrapped into the system.
Doug's goal now, and the focus of Livestrong moving forward, is not just to help individuals, but to help individuals by changing the entire system. And as he moves forward, he's committed to giving back, a lesson learned from his parents.
My parents are the most important people in my life, aside from my wife and kids, and they taught me everything. They taught me what it means to give back. They taught me about service and about community, and both my dad and my mom have both battled cancer, and so this is an emotional journey that I feel like I have the whole family with me, and I want to accomplish this for all of them, as well as my kids and my wife, who have been so supportive and who I love dearly. And I think we're all here to climb on behalf of 32 million people around the world who have survived this disease, and millions more who unfortunately ran out of time. And it's with them in our minds and our hearts that we're here to struggle and ultimately to triumph.
With the summit attempt now little more than 24 hours away, the team leaders and the Tanzanian guides are busy plotting strategy.
Every summit, there's some amount of misery involved, you know, like probably between the hours of 3:30 and 5, before you actually glimpse when the sun comes up, the promise of warmth. Your hands get cold. Your feet have probably been numb for at least an hour, and you keep moving forward just because everyone else is, you know. So there's absolutely an element of misery in every single summit.
One of the names on the banner that's being carried to the summit is that of well-known ESPN anchor Stuart Scott, who has been battling cancer since 2007. Stuart is friends with Doug, and Wendy and I have worked with him in television for years. We're talking about Stuart when a spontaneous tribute breaks out.
Booyah! I know, I've been trying to think, and you know, the perfect thing would be to fall down, but it's a big mountain. It's a lot of places to fall down and
You're gonna hurt
ourselves.
yourself.
Yeah, you could flip our pillows over to the cold side. That could always work.
Yeah, but that would mean we had pillows. We don't have any pillows here.
Excellent point.
Man, but you know, the bottom line is, it's freezing cold here. We're sleeping in these tents with no pillows. We're 5,000 feet from the top of this damn mountain.
It's rained every single day.
Every single day.
We gotta say, the food is pretty good.
Food is really good.
We've had
There's
French
some
fries
French
almost.
fries that were unbelievable. But the clouds roll in, they roll out, they roll in, the rain, you know. But we just want to say hi, man, because you're going to the top with us. You're on the flag. I know you saw that tweet. We haven't had a lot of reception up here, but we're thinking of you always, and it's great to be here with all your friends, and just wanted to say hi.
We've got, what, 5,000 feet more to go?
5,000 feet in 36 hours, and we'll be standing on top of, on the roof of Africa.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to show you one more person who's here who wants to send his good wishes as well. He's the man behind the cam. Show yourself.
Stewie, I miss you, buddy. I love you. Does this help? Do you recognize me now? I love you, Stu. We're thinking about you. Booyah!
We love you, Stuart.
Love you, Stuart.
call you back in the States when we have reception and it doesn't cost a gajillion dollars.
Let's get a golf trip on the calendar soon.
The clouds quickly roll back in, bringing with them a steady rain. We now know it's snowing above us, and our summit attempt will be even more difficult. The team awakens on day 6 to a snow-covered camp, which makes the hike to high camp through an alpine desert more scenic, but also more difficult.
Jumbo. Jumbo.
As they do every day, the porters carrying massive loads pass us on the trail so that camp will be ready when we arrive.
How you feel?
Phenomenal. You know, the group is doing a great job. I don't think anybody's struggling at all, so we're gonna have a good day. I can't wait to get through to the other side.
6 hours later, we arrive at high camp at 15,420 feet. From here, we'll make our push to the summit.
We, arrived at our highest camp in a pouring rainstorm and continued to snow. We had this wet, slushy snow on the ground, and which was going to make traction, our efficiency, everything a lot more difficult. And we knew that higher up, the winds were going to be greater, that the temperature was going to be colder, and it was a really, a big challenge that we were going to face. And we all felt that when we got to camp.
2 of the team members, Bree Sandlin and Maddie Chandler, are experiencing the extreme discomfort and the growing danger of acute mountain sickness, which, if pushed, can lead to pulmonary or cerebral edema, both of which can be fatal.
I can't eat, I can't drink, I feel nauseous. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So we kind of had a powwow of Chris and Nelson and the doctors and us, and they said, look, we're gonna give you the steroid, but we're gonna be honest with you, if it doesn't work at this point, we're not gonna let you keep going, right? Because we're not gonna risk your life. If this doesn't work, this is the end. You've made it to 15,500 feet and you're going back down.
Several hours later, both emerge from their tents, ready to climb.
Chris was kind enough to give me this miracle pill, and right now I am a new woman. I'm ready to take on the world. I'm a little jittery, a little anxious, a little excited, a little bit like a kid about to freak out.
We get to ascend to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. Woo! That is what we're doing today. It's going to be awesome.
About the summit, this giant. Pretty excited about it.
We've got almost 4,000 feet to go to the summit, and super excited, a little bit nervous, but it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something that none of us thought that we'd ever have the chance to do.
I feel fantastic. I'm ready to go. We've had good group going up. We've taken our time. We've worked hard, and couldn't be more excited.
Can't wait. You're gonna make me cry. I'm gonna make me cry.
Good luck, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Looking great, Cindy.
We're doing it.
Absolutely, yahoo.
I think so.
Woo!
You guys are looking super powerful.
Feeling good. Feeling good.
If all goes well, the climb to the summit will take 8 to 10 hours. A full moon lights the way, but the freshly fallen snow makes the already difficult footing even more treacherous.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning, we're getting to the coldest part of the day, and We're about 17,500 feet. We're doing good, but it's time when you start to really dig deep and remember why you're climbing and who you're climbing for.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Think about my friend Jimmy, my friend Lori. Great to be out here.
How you doing there, Bree?
I'm stronger than this mountain. That's all that matters.
Rob, how you doing? Well said.
The trail begins climbing nearly straight up through a series of seemingly endless switchbacks.
All of a sudden, I just kind of was like, okay, you're gonna do it. You don't have a choice. You're gonna do it. Snap yourself out of it, put your big girl panties on, and get your ass up that mountain.
So it's just minutes before dawn. We're just below 19,000 feet. It's probably about 15 degrees out right now. And we have been going for a little over 6 hours. How you doing there, Bree?
One step in front of the other, man.
Yeah.
Battling headaches and nausea, we maintain a steady pace, struggling to get enough oxygen in the increasingly hostile environment.
Okay, Maddie, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard is this?
It's a 10.
Yeah.
It's hard.
You see the team climbing and the moon right above us? We're just about to get to Gilman Point. From there we'll have about another 2 hours of easier climbing along the crater rim to take us to the true summit.
But about the last hour, I started getting a nosebleed, and I could feel and taste the blood dripping down the back of my throat. My vision was starting to go. It was the altitude really starting to get to me, and I really, for the first time, the whole trip, started to doubt if I could finish.
We all now know the only way down is up. As the sun begins to rise, we finally reach Gilman's Point.
Welcome to Gilman Point.
Woo!
Yep. Okay, so from here, the trail goes around the edge of the crater rim, and it takes us to the highest point on that block of rock.
Awesome!
Yeah.
Gilman's Point is the first of 3 summits and a point where many turn back. But there is no discussion of stopping, no suggestion that this is enough. We pause only to gather ourselves for the final push.
We're on the rim of the crater.
That easily was the hardest thing that I've ever done. Times it's hard to keep going, but we're here for a bigger reason, so here I am. It lulls you into thinking that it's easy, but it's the farthest thing from it. It's really, really hard. Just kind of symbolic of our Survivor Summit.
I can't believe it's a year ago where I was versus now. It's like night and day. Night and day. It's very emotional.
I bet.
It's going to be an amazing moment. I'm just really excited I get to celebrate it with all of these amazing people. And my husband.
You make me cry. It is pretty cool. I didn't know where we were going to end up in a year, but this is one of the better outcomes. I like that. It's good.
All I know is that we worked our ass off and we're at 19,000 feet.
Okay.
That's all I know.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm very myopic at this point.
Yeah.
And Bree is.
I love you, man.
I love you too. I just can't believe how
I love you, man.
strong you all are.
You guys.
I'm so happy. We're almost there.
How far you think?
Almost maybe 1 hour and a half. So, yeah.
Okay.
Because just near there is full of things.
Yes. Doing great, Mark. Just one foot in front of the other.
Look around. This is God's country. I mean, it's not every day you get to climb through stuff like this.
We can now actually see Uhuru Peak in the distance. We pass Stella Point, the second summit, without stopping. We're above 19,000 feet, and every step is a challenge.
45 minutes to the top for 32 million people around the world that are suffering with cancer. That can get us to the top pretty easily.
Even though the conditions were tough, everybody dug deep into their soul and found the best in themselves, and they used that best to not only push through the challenges, but to give to other people. And it's that giving to other people, that carrying that love that you have for somebody else, that allows you to have the inner strength that's needed to be able to overcome any challenge.
As the team nears the summit, Dr. Masson pauses to scatter some of his father's ashes.
My father died last year of prostate cancer. He fought it for 13 years, put up a great fight. My dad was one of a kind in so many ways. So, here we go. I love you, Dad.
Finally, after 7 days that have tested the resolve of every team member, and nearly 9 hours after leaving high camp, we can go no further. We have reached Uhuru Peak at 19,341 feet, the summit of the highest freestanding mountain in the world.
We made it to the top of Africa. All the way to the top. And yesterday, I wasn't so sure it was possible. Yeah. Everyone made it! Woo!
The statistics of getting to the top of this thing are about 25 to 30%. There's lots of little places along the way that'll give you a summer certificate, but there's only one true summit. So how to get all 16 of us to the summit? Well, it takes a couple of things. Obviously, we have to be physically strong, but more importantly, we have to love each other. And it was really love that got everybody up here, because everybody's willing to work extra to get somebody else, to make their life a little bit easier on the way to the top. And that's why I love doing these trips, because you just see people come together and just care so much about each other and make their dreams possible.
Yeah, everybody pulled through. We came up as one group. Everybody helped each other out, and everybody's here. It's unbelievable.
This moment is especially meaningful to the 4 cancer survivors. In many ways, this completes their symbolic journey. After struggling through the valleys of life, they fought their way to the mountaintop.
All right, love you guys.
Love you guys. Love you guys.
The team has been at or above 19,000 feet for hours, battling the increasing effects of oxygen deprivation. But determined to honor those for whom we've climbed, we remain on the summit for nearly 1 hour. Finally, fearing the growing potential for acute mountain sickness, Chris orders everyone back down the mountain to high camp. 18 hours later, the team is off the mountain, thanking the Tanzanian team without whom this life-changing adventure would not have been possible.
I have a stack of money, our way to say thank you to guides and porters and waiters and kitchen staff that made this week so amazing.
In addition to their wages and their tips, the porters pick from supplies the team is leaving behind as a further thank you. Everything from down jackets to solar chargers to $250 boots.
Thank you, my friend.
Yay! Hugs, hugs.
Thank you so much, Arnold.
We're exhausted, grateful, and empowered. It's time to party.
Wageni mwakaribishwa Kilimanjaro, hakuna matata, hakuna matata, hakuna matata, hakuna matata. Jambo, jambo bwana, habari gani? Nzuri sana. Wageni makaribishwa Kilimanjaro, hakuna matata.
That night, back at the Kia Lodge in Arusha, Doug receives the news that he feared, a text from the father of longtime friend Jimmy Fox.
It says, Doug, I don't know if you're on top of that mountain, headed up or headed down, but I wanted you to know before you hear about it somewhere else that Jimmy passed away at 2:05 a.m. Pacific Standard Time this morning. If you're at the summit, please blow him a kiss for us. You know, if there's ever a doubt that these opportunities have a much broader impact, for me, that sums it up. So appreciate you all allowing me to be a part of it, and also just, you know, standing up there and holding that banner means a lot to a lot of people.
We sit in the darkness, crying, laughing, sharing the lessons learned over the last 7 days. We know there are more battles ahead, but we now know we're up to the challenge because we made it. Every single one of us. We conquered Kilimanjaro.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. I'm sorry we closed.
Cheers, man. It's illuminating, it's uplifting, it's powerful, it's spiritual, it's emotional, it's impactful. It's I run out of adjectives. It's just the most amazing, life-changing experience of my entire life.
The moral of the story is we are all, every single one of us, every person on this planet is stronger than we give ourselves credit for. We can do these things. We can do unbelievable things. It just takes some leap of faith and some great friends.
I hope this film inspires people to reach beyond what they think that their limits are, to realize that you can climb mountains after cancer diagnosis, after treatment. It's not an end of life or even an altering of life experience anymore. And I just hope that even for folks who don't have a personal cancer experience, that they see what the 16 of us did as something inspirational, motivational, something that a reason that they give themselves a bigger goal than they think that they're able to accomplish, and go do it, because we did one foot in front of the other.
I tell everybody who's considering going, you have to go. Not only because of the team, not only because of the climb, not because of all that, but because this is your only chance to go with Chris. And you know, the value of that, the way the team is structured, the way the conversations are structured, the way the trip is structured, because of his focus on leadership and building teams and accomplishing goals. And you don't get that in a lot of other places. And I think for a lot of people, or for me as a former athlete, there are very few places where later in life you get the chance to feel like you're on a team with an incredible coach. And that's what I felt like being on the trip.
If it wasn't difficult, everybody would do it. You get a lot of value out of things that are difficult in life. That's where you get much of the value from your life. If everything was easy, if there was no adversity, we'd all be the same person. And sometimes, you know, doing that mountain is almost like selecting adversity. I'm going to put this mountain in front of me. I'm going to put myself in a situation where I have to, my life could be on the line with a bunch of people I don't know. And so it's a high risk, but the reward is immense.
It's just one more thing that says, you know what, I know how strong I am. I know how much I can achieve, and I know I can do anything I really set my mind to. And you know, just having that confidence and knowledge and belief in yourself, that's one of the things the mountain inspires.